Well, good morning, and welcome to Hoag Memorial Hospital Presbyterian. I am Dr. Gwynn Perry. I am the Director of Community Benefit Programs for Hoag Memorial Hospital, and we have very passionate love of the the program that we're going to be talking about this morning and honoring this morning. And I'm just going to say a few words. We have, we've known Jack Shaw for some time and gotten to know most of you, and you are the passion for this mission. You are what makes it hum. Talk to you for a moment about the Community for Innovative and Entrepreneurship, Leadership, and Opportunities, CALO, which was founded by a collaboration between the Oakview Renewal Partnership and Golden West Community College. At its core, OVRP cultivates relationships between community partners and residents, and OVRP facilitates and develops projects until they become self-sufficient. I'm sorry, I'm reading from a quote here, so bear with me for a minute. CALO is the most recent project to be incubated. What began as a vision to create the impact and create a significant impact in 1 square mile of the city of Huntington Beach has developed and grown. We have been a very small part of that. Mr. Jack Shaw has been the passionate and innovative leader of this, and I'm sure you will all agree that he is a person that we want to speak about at some length today. So I'm going to ask Vivian Fong to step up and take it from here.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Perry, for the warm introduction. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Vivian Pham. I'm the Oakview Renewal Partnership Board Chair, but my day job is as the Vice President of Community Relations for Wells Fargo as a Community Development Officer for Orange County and Long Beach. I want to thank the Hoag Hospital for allowing us to use this beautiful space. Dr. Perry, Minza Malik, and Lauren Tabios, and all the rest of the Hoag family. So thank you so much for having us here. And this work wouldn't have been possible without strong leaders. And that strong leader, I think she's sitting right there, Yesenia Ochoa, our Executive Director for Oakview Renewal Partnership. Please stand. And then the rest of the Oakview Renewal Partnership staff, if you could please stand and be recognized for all of your work that you've done and created. And strong leadership wouldn't happen with the success of CLO. And so I'd like to introduce John Hobson, if you could please stand, the CEO of CLO, who's empowering individuals. And the rest of the staff for CLO, if you could please stand and be recognized for all of your hard work. So today, this is a celebration for all of us, and thank you to those continued partners and supporters who have supported us a long way of 10, 20 years in the Oakview community. And today, the celebration is going to review our community wellness index findings. We'll have a panel discussion with community partners and experts. We'll share some lessons learned along the way and opportunities to stay connected. And so with that, I'd like to introduce via video Melody Winterhead, Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco Regional Manager, and also a CLO advisory member.
Greetings, friends of OVRP. My name is Melody Winterhead, and I'm with the San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank, and I've been asked to say a few words about OVRP. At its core, the work of OVRP is about empowering families and creating opportunity, a process that by definition yields a reduction in the health and wealth disparities that have plagued low-income families and kept them in poverty. It's about the results produced by Jack Shaw, the tireless leadership team, the advisory board, the leaders at Golden West Community College, at the Orange County Business Council, and at the Opportunity Fund that define together community development at OVRP.
And so we're here to share our community wellness and the findings, but first, want to share our vision of an empowered and healthy community. And our mission is to narrow the cultural, social, educational, health, and economic gap between Oakview and the rest of Huntington Beach while serving as a model for community development. And we think we have a model that can work and be replicated in every community, just like Oakview. We have a holistic approach for community resilience and vitality. And for those of you, I'm going to do a little plug for the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, What It's Worth book. It's really a pretty easy read, surprisingly, for some very dense material. But it really ties in that health determinants are heavily based on socioeconomic determinants. At the National Interagency Community Development Conference this year, that was the focus of blending health needs with community development needs. We know that poverty, violence, inadequate resources, services, and amenities affect the health of communities. And there's an inextricable, often stress-laden link between financial well-being and physical and mental health. So, in this book, there's this discussion about necessary but not sufficient income, financial education, banking services, planning, incentives, rewards, and removing barriers, assets are all necessary components, but it's insufficient to create the ultimate goal of healthy individuals, strong families, and thriving communities, unless enacted simultaneously with persistent action. My manager, Marcia Chu, who's sitting up right here, the community development manager for LA, she helped put together this analogy that I love, and I think it fits Oakview Renewal Partnership's model so well. So if you know us, we love to eat, love good food. And so this analogy has to do with the ingredients of a cake, a really delicious cake. All these are quality ingredients, but separately, they don't work well, and they're not edible or not going to be tasty or delicious. Oakview is that mixture of all those ingredients towards the ultimate goal, a healthy and empowered community. I recently heard a speaker say, you got to meet people where they're at, and that's the Oakview model. We listen to the needs of the residents, pilot or implement programs through education and training, and empower residents in the community to take leadership and ownership of the program. So with that, I'd like to share our community wellness findings. So first is public safety. And we're proud to share that in a county, there was a recent article by the Orange County Register that crime rates have gone up. And I'm really proud to share that Oakview crime rates have gone down by 49% in the last 10 years, where in the beginning of our Oakview Renewal Partnership days, these rates, our Oakview crime rates almost doubled Orange County's rates. And you'll hear more from Huntington Beach Police Department about how this has been established. Thanks to St. Joseph's Community Building Program, we have created an environment where people feel empowered to resolve issues in their own community. And just a little shot of Virginia, who manages our community building initiative in Oakview and started the Spanish Academy at Oakview with the police department. So education. Through programs like El Viento, Orange County Community Housing Corporation's Stepping Up program, computer literacy, ESL courses, we've seen a 39% increase in Oakview college enrollment rates. API scores have increased to 760, 81% higher than 1999's score of 421. So health. A majority of Oakview residents are without health care. Through our work in providing access to medical and dental mobile services, access to physical activity, we have seen a 28% reduction in childhood obesity. And that's Yadira Lopez, who manages our health building initiative for Oakview Renewal Partnership. Housing. This continues to be the community's biggest challenge, and in fact, it's gotten worse because of the recession. It's been great to have affordable housing partners like Orange County Community Housing Corporation and Jamboree Housing, but it's not enough. 90% of households are renters, and most residents are living in unsafe, substandard, and overcrowded conditions. The rents keep rising for a majority of our residents. We see opportunities to learn about Oakview's residents' greatest needs for housing. We have opportunities to outreach and educate them on tenant rights and landlord responsibilities. And one of our solutions to the ever-rising prices of housing in Orange County is through job creation. But this continues to be our most toughest battle, and so having partners, continued partners to support us in the housing is going to be key for our success. And lastly, jobs. The recession left communities like Oakview in terrible conditions. The lack of job opportunities with the housing crisis left Oakview without any opportunities to improve residents' conditions. Through the development of Cielo, Oakview has seen a 25% increase in job income due to the job training and education, entrepreneurship, and business education, as well as job placement. But the most important value that Cielo provides Oakview residents is hope. Hope and inspiration for a better and empowered life by creating their own income. And this is one of our wonderful catering companies, Juan Ruiz, who does amazing catering, by the way, if you'd like tacos. But his success story just touches your heart. And I just want to share our mission through this Oakview Renewal Partnership video. And so at this moment, I'm going to ask Jack for forgiveness instead of permission. But I'd like to thank Jack Shaw for his 20 years of service to the Oakview community. Without his vision for this community, it wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't have El Viento. We wouldn't have Healthy Kids for Healthy Smiles for Kids of Orange County. We wouldn't have OVRP. We wouldn't have Cielo. He's an inspiration to us all for building a healthy, empowered Orange County. So please help me to thank Jack Shaw for all of his years of service as he retires this June. He might kill me later, but it's worth it. And with that, I'm going to introduce Paul Castile, the Vice Chair of Oakview Renewal Partnership, who's been involved with Oakview for 20 years, I would say, as well. And Paul's day job is a financial representative for Northwestern Mutual. So thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. If I could ask the panelists to come up on stage, I'm going to take a moment to introduce everybody. I'll start here with the gentleman closest to us. Kent Farron, I apologize, is a lieutenant for the Huntington Beach Police Department and is currently overseeing the Communications Bureau. Kent has approximately 27 years of police experience. He currently serves as the department manager for the Oakview neighborhood, as well as his day job there at the police department and the Communications Bureau. Ken has overseen the implementation of several Oakview programs since assuming his role in 2013. Programs like the Spanish Citizens Academy, Horse Nation Equine Therapy, am I pronouncing that correct? Equine. Youth beach trips, coffee and tacos with a cop, officers reading on campus, parent workshops with CSP, community town hall meetings, a youth collaboration, and a neighborhood officer program. Thank you, Kent, for joining us this morning. Next to Kent, we have Robert Tapia. He has been with the Huntington Beach Unified School District for over 15 years as an instructional aide in the classrooms at Ocean View High School and currently as a community outreach specialist. His community outreach focus is to the empowerment of Spanish-speaking parents to have the ability to navigate the educational system with their students. His efforts include a series of parent workshops under Ocean View Parent Preparatory Academy covering topics such as college awareness, computer literacy, parenting and youth development. Robert also grew up in Oakview community, graduated from Ocean View High School, and received an associate's degree in television production from Golden West College. Thank you, Robert. Yadira Lopez is Healthy Communities Manager with the Oakview Renewal Partnership for the past 6 years and is responsible for overseeing its health initiative. She oversees operations of monthly clinics, school food pantry, quarterly adult health screenings, Zumba classes, along with nutrition classes, and co-leads the monthly community cleanups. As the manager of the Healthy Initiative, she tries to leverage programming by connecting resources to complement activities as health needs resurface from the community. Yadira is self-driven to make a difference in the Oakview community as she herself has grown up in the community for the last 18 years and still resides at Oakview with her own family. As a part of her college internship, she was able to create and implement a wide community health needs assessment in the summer of 2014 in the community. She has been an very active member in the community from the very beginning. She used to volunteer at the Oakview Library as a teenager, is a Flight 1 alumni to the El Viento Foundation, and is very involved during her high school years at Ocean View High School, and is currently one of the resident Zumba instructor volunteers. She is currently very involved in her son and daughter's education, that coming next year, she will serve as a secretary to the PTO at Oakview Elementary School. Thank you, Yadira, for joining us. Vivian Pham, who we just met, is the Vice President of Government and Community Relations at Wells Fargo, serving as the Community Development Officer in Orange County in Long Beach, California. As a CDO, Vivian connects nonprofit organizations with low to moderate income communities to Wells Fargo and assists the banks in meeting their responsibilities under the Community Reinvestment Act. As board chair of Oakview Renewal Partnership, Vivian has helped launch programs such as social enterprise called Cielo. She has served the OVRP's board of directors since 2010. Vivian's affordable housing expertise comes from serving as vice chair for neighborhoods in Orange County Community Housing Corporation's board of directors, and Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez Housing Advisory Board. Thank you, Vivian. And finally, John Hobson. John serves as CEO of Cielo, where he is responsible for Yellow's strategic growth. After a career leading marketing teams for large e-commerce realtors and dabbling in entrepreneurship, John made the leap into startups. Having started and exited a number of companies, it was the opportunity to blend his passion for entrepreneurship with his expertise with nonprofits that lead him to Cielo. Cielo's vision is that education, mentoring, workforce development, and an entire entrepreneurial ecosystem becomes a solution to an individual's financial stability, generational advancement, and the community's economic growth. Cielo empowers members of our underserved communities with access to network community, capital, business experts, legal and technical advice, and workforce development. Thank you, John. You ready, officer? You're starting with you. Okay.
Several years ago when I was getting my graduate degree, I remember we listened to a professor who was going to talk about leadership. One thing that professor said was, and we're all getting ready to write everything down because we're waiting for every word that this person said. And they said, with regard to leadership, it is, was, and will always be about leadership. Now, it didn't sound like much, but ever since they've said that, I said, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. It is, was, and will always be about leadership. And that's kind of what we got here today. We've all come together, but I'm really to talk about what we all know. We all here share the same experience and the same passion for Oakview. One of the greatest challenges is how do I do this in 2 minutes today, right? So when we got kind of incorporated into the OVRP and where we are today, and right around the end of 2014, and I sat down with Yosef at Starbucks, and he said, "Here's what I want you to do. Here's how I want you guys to be involved." And I said, "Okay, how can we do that? What does this look like?" And we knew that we had to build rapport, relationship, trust with the community, And OVRP was going to be that piece that connects that to us. And so he introduced me to One Square Mile book that this guy, Jack Shaw, who's done all this stuff, has written, and I read it, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea. He then introduced me to people of OVRP, people in the community, CSP, different groups that represent. And what I realized is it's this huge partnership that already exists. We just need to be a part of this. And how can we do that? And not only how, but how are we going to put some strategies and plans together to make this happen? And so we did. We came up with initially about 10 strategies, programs that we're going to try, reach out of the box, and come up with things that we can reach out to the community and see if we build this relationship, build this partnership, as only one small piece of what's already happening in Oakview. And so as this started to happen, we'd come up with different things like the Spanish Citizens Academy, led by Officer Juan Munoz. And we said, you know, we don't have one, so we got to build this curriculum, we got to put this together, and we'll see if this works, not realizing how important that program was going to be. To give you an example of that program itself, this is just an opportunity for the community to bond with the police department, let us show them what we do, and let them come into our house and kind of see how the police work. Police officers that speak Spanish, reaching out to them and showing them, you know, not only what we do, but they're human and they have families, and we want to build this relationship with you and advance that. And at the end of this program, not even realizing what the impact was going to be, having people get up on the stand and say, this changed my life. We had never seen that before. The reason they did it was for their kids. The reason they did this was so that they could at first not realize how much this was going to impact their relationship with the police and the community, but now they trust the police when before they didn't. That's one example. Another example, as was mentioned, was Horse Nation, an equine therapy program that we put together for kids. Again, wouldn't have happened without OVRP, CSP, Boys and Girls Club, all these other groups. But these kids with scars that they were raised with, where they had previously been bullies, or where they had been bullied, or where they were learning life lessons, teamed up with officers and community people and therapists. These things were coming out, these kids were changing, lives were changed. I see that now when I go in the community and a kid that went through that program comes up to me and he says, hey, Lieutenant Farron, how are you? And they want to talk to me, and there's big smiles on their faces. And then I see people from the community today, or when we do community cleanups or other programs, and they're smiling, they're happy, and they want to meet and they want to talk and tell me about what's going on in their life, not just about crime. That's been a paradigm shift in this community. Finally, I think, right? I'm getting close. So again, I don't know how to do this in 2 minutes. I got 30 minutes of material here. So, but in addition to those 10 programs, as a group, what we've come up with, and this is the leadership piece, is OVRP has set this vision. We have helped them with their vision. We're one piece of that vision. And this leadership that it comes from OVRP, Jack Shaw, Yesenia, Virginia, formerly Josefa, this foundation that was laid and was set. We have an additional group of programs that we're ready to launch. Another 7 programs, this time not just about residents, but about the youth. And Robert will probably speak on that. But we now see that the future is the youth of Oakview. And we want to expand our reach, expand that leadership to them, because we know they're going to make a difference. So we've now, again, working with OVRP, and they've done this, worked with all the other churches and doing something that I've never seen before in almost 27 years of police work, where all of the churches are not doing their own thing. All of these churches are working together. And now we have a group coming in from Rock Harbor called Common Ground, building a teen center in Oakview, where they're going to have a skate park and a soccer park. Mariners Church coming into Oakview, building their church there. Other churches, other church leaders coming in to work on programs on the ground, helping clean up with the citizens. We're moving into the next zone. We're moving into the next direction. This vision leadership of empowerment, we're there. We've done a lot. We've laid a lot of foundation. We're ready to take it to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert, if you could share with us, I guess, your experience with the collective impact.
All right, I have 30 seconds at this point now.
Well,
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
He's got the gun, Robert, so we just kind of let him do what he wants to do up there.
So I really think Oakview underwent a cultural shift from lifelong learners. Most of the time, I think our focus is solely on youth education. And we all understand that parent involvement is important, but me as a community outreach specialist, I was always like, how do I get the parents here? Yeah, and really, they want to help. They just didn't know how. They didn't know what to ask. Most of the questions at the school with the teachers, it was, how is my student doing? As far as more behavioral, not, is my student ready to go to college? Does he have his A through G's? Did he take his tests? So there's really been a shift, and I believe El Viento has been the leader in that, where they really brought in the parents, and it was a family commitment. It wasn't only the solely responsibility of the student. Okay, you're going to go to college, all the pressure's on you. All the rest of their friends, their parents have gone to college. They somewhat know how to navigate the educational system. Our parents come from a culture where you take your kids to school, you feed them, and the teacher knows best, and you know, that's that. But our parents didn't really know how to get involved. So I think one of the first things the Oakview Renewal Partnership brought our computer literacy class to the Oakview Branch Library. I think we had about 20 parents the first time. I remember speaking with Josefa. We had this new program, and the parents were so excited about it. So we had one parent that invited me to the graduation, and I went. And she said, "Can we bring it to Ocean View High School?" And I said, "Yes, let's make this happen." So to make a long story short, 2 years later, we're now actually I'm supposed to be at Ocean View helping them with their computer class, but I'm here with you folks. Today's their last day. We're going to be graduating about 80 parents in our computer literacy class. 5 of those instructors are instructors that were initially those 20 parents. And now we work with the Ocean View High School teachers to develop a curriculum, a computer-based curriculum that will assure that those parents will help their kids navigate to college. And I mean, I always thought, how do we get the parents here? Well, the parents want to know about technology. You know, they want to go to be a part of it. And now we have parents that are monitoring their kids' grades. They're emailing teachers. They're using Google Translate. I mean, they're one click away from finding the Espanol button and a whole new world opening up for them. I always talk to them that the most important language right now will always be English in this country, but right now it's technology. If they can learn computers and they can find the Spanish button, a whole new world. They can find videos on YouTube. And our presenters on Tuesday will be presenting their entire slides that they made, and stuff that they translated on Google Translate. But those 5 parents will also be expanding. They secured a contract with our district to continue the Parent Prep Academy, and they're working with Cielo to expand their business. And overall, I think it's just been a holistic, they've been so focused and they've grown, and it just feels great to be part of that. So I want to thank the Oakview Renewal Partnership for really implementing, really new ideas, and being supported from the district, from the library, and the parents, most of all, taking the lead to get this going and keeping it going. So
Great. Thank you,
thank
Robert.
you.
So good morning. Again, my name is Jadira, and I've been with OVRP for 6 years. And I mean, I'm lucky enough to be back in my own community and giving back, especially in the health initiative. I did get a degree in community health science, bachelor's in science at Cal State Long Beach. And for me, this has been a great journey, and I've learned a lot throughout it. So for managing mobile clinics, quarterly health screenings, the food pantry, and co-leading cleanups, all of these to make a person, I always think, if you want to empower and then have a healthy community, you've got to start with the person itself. So helping the parents, access all these great resources in the community. Of course, it hasn't been easy. There's been challenges along the way, but, we evaluate and seek opportunities to strengthen the programming. So my focus today here, being the greatest and that I've seen during the last probably 3 years. Yes, the mobiles have been great all the resources, but fitness. So we started a Zumba program in the community. It all started, it was a cultural shift for the residents. At first, we didn't have many participants, probably 2, 3 were outside the Family Resource Center. They were really shy. For them, it was something that's never done before, and there was nothing implemented in the community. Yes, there's a program for the youth, for the children, smaller children, but not for adults. But it was from them, so we actually started because they wanted that need. They knew they had to be physical active because they had already prognosis that they had medical issues, cholesterol, diabetes, most of all diabetes, high blood pressure. So they knew something had to be in place. So we started Zumba classes, and it came through micro enterprises with now, which is Cielo. It was interesting enough. They were trying to look for ways, jobs, right? Find a job for a resident. And lucky enough, it started at Cielo as a job entrepreneurship, class, and then that idea actually sprung up, and it kind of came to my initiative, to the health initiative, and out of nowhere we were running it. We first started a small group. Now we have 20 to 40 participants each Tuesday or Thursday. Very amazing. And they are physically active at least twice a week, if not more, because the residents who are co-leading those classes, it's not us. Yes, I'm one of the volunteers, but I let the residents run them themselves. Up to this point, we have certified and supported 7 residents, and they're the instructors for the classes, and some have actually independently started their own classes in the community. So we empower them to, look out for that job. And participants are just, amazed to know that they are actually, the classes are benefiting them. They feel slimmer, they are eating better. They requested nutrition classes, so now we're incorporating them into the classes at least once a month. We bring partners. K-POC has been great. They've been doing some classes, and actually K-POC is training one of our residents to become a peer educator themselves, and they'll be delivering the classes themselves. So I'm really proud to see this many changes occurring within the last couple of many years, but now moving forward with fitness. Wanting more, we piloted it 2 weeks ago. We ended up piloting 2 weeks ago boot camp. They wanted to challenge themselves more. So that's a success story that I wanted to share with you all. Our group was so excited. They wanted more. They're doing YouTube at Zumba during at home as well. I heard from them, wow, we're doing Zumba at home. They're into the technology world, so they're a click away. They're like, okay, how do you look up videos on YouTube to do Zumba? And they're doing it at home, surprisingly. And I'm super excited because it has made a big difference in the residents' lives. I think about 200 residents have already registered during the last, probably 300, closer to 300 to their classes, and a lot of are really stable. So, we're just so excited in sharing these stories. And again, 7 instructors coming through those classes. It's just magnificent to see those changes occurring in the community. Thank you.
So I'm covering housing, and as you could see from the Community Wellness Index, conditions have worsened for housing. Without a job or limited income, one cannot afford the increasing prices for housing in Orange County. Imagine a single immigrant mother working 2 minimum wage jobs. She wants to build skills, but cannot afford to take the time off for that training. The family lives in a cramped, poorly maintained, dark, damp, and moldy apartment. Her 6-year-old has recently been diagnosed with asthma, and the mother must now decide whether to pay for the heating, electricity, and food, or for her son's medication. The lack of decent, healthy, affordable housing is undermining overall financial security. This is a familiar situation for Oakview residents and many low-income communities in Orange County. With Cielo underway, our newest focus for Oakview Partnership is housing. And frankly, it's the most difficult. There are opportunities right now for landlord and tenant education and preserving plans to increase long-term affordability. With the support from the City of Huntington Beach, there's preliminary plans to make Oakview an energy-efficient community with plans to produce green businesses and jobs for the Oakview residents. For a community like Oakview, home ownership is a far-fetched reality. What residents really care about is a healthy and safe home for their family. Now I want to share another story. Maria Elena, who's a resident of Oakview and a resident of Orange County Community Housing Corporation. She's been a resident for 19 years, and through their programs have offered such certifications as childcare, medical assistance, computer literacy, there's tutoring, financial assistance for her daughter's education. She now feels empowered to become a leader in her community, now has time to get her Zumba certification and be the lead coordinator for Zumba, and is a founding member of Familias Positivas de Oakview. By having stable, healthy, decent, affordable housing, Maria Elena doesn't have to work the 2 minimum wage jobs to support her family. She now feels empowered to earn her income as an entrepreneur selling hair accessories and floral arrangements. And she's also going to be our newest staff member joining the Oakview Renewal Partnership team. So imagine that multiplying effect, 10 more residents, 100 more, 1,000 more. And that effect of building a healthy and safe community, safe home, and what that could bring for the Oakview community. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cielo is fortunate that it was incubated by OVRP. We're an output from all the work they're doing in the community. And really it came from their work in the community and surveying the community to say, what are your needs? And they pushed it and they said they need workforce. We need jobs. We need assistance. So Yusefa and the team at that time did a survey and they said, well, what would that look like? Could we surround them with some assistance? Could we surround them with some education? And could we improve their outcomes? And they did their studies, they did their research like everything they do. They don't jump into it, they actually do the research, and they realize that this is something that would be beneficial to the community. And so Cielo was born. And Cielo is unique. It's taking the same approach. It's very much a hub model. We're pulling in other partners and we're pulling in assistants to help surround entrepreneurs with education, with services, with opportunities to make them successful. Along that path, we also realized that workforce development was really important. So it's not just about starting businesses, it's about educating them about what entrepreneurship is, but also realizing that some people need a job and they just need to pay for things. And so we quickly move them into and help them find jobs, and we're working on pathways to jobs with the corporations in Orange County to figure out how to get them the training necessary to get into those positions. We're really fortunate to have some great partners, and we're teaching that entrepreneurial mindset. That's really how we're approaching it. Whether it's starting your own business or going to work for somebody else, it's about having that ability to be resilient, to be adaptable, reinvent yourself, and take leadership and be a problem solver. And we're seeing really good success on what we've done. In the last year, we've had about 60 students come through the program. Of that, roughly 10 viable businesses are in the stages of launch, so either have launched or launching right now, and we've placed about 65 people in jobs. That's just continuing to grow. Oakview is our home, that's where we started, but we also see there's a need countywide. So the focus of Cielo really is much broader. With our partnership with Golden West and with some of the other organizations in Orange County, we see populations that look like Oakview and they want our services there. So the nice thing is we can take the learnings we've had, go out, help other areas, and then also bring back the learnings we have there back to Oakview and those opportunities, because we're finding jobs in other areas that are viable jobs for the residents of Oakview. So it's really an exciting time for us. In terms of success, we've got some great examples here today. The one that started it all was Rico's Tacos. They have been a partner with us as much as we've been a partner with them, because they've come along on this ride to help them succeed. They trust us, they work with us, and we are providing education and information to them to help them grow their business. And they keep coming back. It's not a one-time thing. They've come back multiple times, and we continue to work with them to be successful. You also see a couple other clients work here today. The table pieces, the flowers are from Ohana. We have some treats on the table from Baker Leticia. And the balloons here are from another one of our success stories, Balloonzilla. They do corporate events. So it's an exciting time at Cielo. We're growing. We're very thankful for our partnership with Oakview Renewal Partnership. We've got a great team to work with, and I'm excited for the future.
Great. Thank you, John. At this time, we're going to open it up to any questions that anyone might have for the panelists, and I'll also offer the opportunity to speak with them after the event. So, does anyone have any questions? Well, I wanted to thank all of you guys for being here with us, for sharing your passion. You know, comes through with your words. So thank you again for your support. I'd like to welcome Yesenia up to the podium to take things from here.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. So you've now heard from just an amazing group of individuals, funders, partners, community experts, residents, and together they were able to piece together this beautiful story. And so I'm so thrilled that you were able to be here with us, because there's no way to tell the story better than this, I think. So again, thank you. Now, with 10 years of experience on the grounds, with so many leaders who I've succeeded in this position, the folks who came together initially, right, the original board members, and the residents who really helped us understand whether this was possible, we now have then the evidence that proves that this works. And part of our mission, as you've heard, is to be a model for community development. And along the way, we've learned. And so now I'd like to share with you what those lessons were, because if we were to take this approach anywhere else, these are the things we would want to do again. First, we recruited first-rate leaders. That means that we went out and looked for the right talent, the right hearts, the right mix of skills. We recruited board members and funders that initially believed in us and provided us with seed funding. Secondly, we focused. We really picked a community. In Oakview's case, it's a 1 square mile. But in other cases, it could be a community around a school district. It could come around a neighborhood watch group. What matters is that you define it, and that you have it be a size that's within reach. In Oakview, we know there's about 10,000 families. We think that's about the right amount of people. And we also developed a deep bottom-up approach. We took the time to understand the needs, wants, and expectations of our customers, who we call the residents. And through that approach, we feel we were mostly on target. And as Yadira mentioned earlier on the panel, there were some mistakes and some maybe missteps, but we would always pivot and check back in and make adjustments along the way. And fourthly, we built an organization. There was a recognition that there was a lot of work being done already, but no real system that was bringing those things together. And so Oakview Renewal Partnership was born, and we recognized that a system such as that would be needed in order for this to happen somewhere else. And then fifth, we established the metrics. So we wanted to make sure that we could prove over time that things were moving and changing, and also served as a guide to then make changes as we went along. And for that, we worked with special partners, real experts in the field, the Cal State Fullerton Center for Demographic Research, and most recently, USC Sol Price Center for Social Innovation. And so I leave you with that. Hopefully, those are some things you can take back with you as you share with others. And of course, we always open further conversation. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you our board chair-elect, Mike Stevens, who's also a retired CEO for Hoag Hospital. Mike, would you join me up front, please, and take us home? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure it's an opportunity to be the concluding presenter, because everyone comes up and says, be sure and thank this person, and be sure and emphasize this. So I have a short agenda and a long list of things that I'm supposed to do. So let me do that, and I'll do it very quickly. First of all, thanks again. So many people to thank. In fact, I'm going to try to do it this way rather than go through and enumerate. As I indicate a category of attendee, would you please raise your hand and just show everybody what kind of a representative group this is. So I'm going to start with our funders, individual funders, organizational funders. Sister, anyway, raise your hand. Okay, funders, thank you. This will be the majority. Our community partners, either existing partners or hopefully to be partners. All of you who represent the various community organizations, from the police department, governmental agencies, to your own organizations, raise your hands. Thank you very much. Our staff, I've been before, but anyone who has been on or currently is a staff member in any way, please raise your hands again. Josefa, raise your hand. So this gives me an opportunity for my single, well, maybe duo, recognition of individuals, and that is Josefa Erilo Fatuli, and I mastered that. You see, I do it very well with a lot of practice. He was with us through basically the founding and the development of OVRP, and is an extraordinary individual with an extraordinary background, and to know him is to be encouraged and enthused about the possibilities that exist through leadership, and he certainly rectifies that leadership. He's now gone on to do bigger and better things. He's going to find ways to get money to us, not just us, but all of our community organizations. So I just want Josefa to stand, please. Okay, at your tables is a form that you can fill out. So I encourage you to do it. It's a way of letting us know if we can contact you, if you'd like any information. Please list yourself there. That, I think, will be to your benefit and certainly to ours. So why did we do this? I mean, I'm a newcomer to OVRP, probably 18 months, 2 years. And I've been retired 10, and I've been actively engaged with the community. But as you get on to the last part of your career, and as you begin to realize that you aren't immortal, you begin to think, well, what are the things most valuable? And so I've had this passion that I want to be able to identify what I did and the change that it wrought. I've been an organizational guy. I've been California Endowment. You can go down the list. So how do I understand the connect between what I do and what happens? And OVRP provides me with that. So suddenly I'm immersed in it again. I'm enthused. I'm committed, because OVRP is unique. I tell everyone that will listen to me, and sometimes I forget that I've talked with them, so I tell them again, and they say, yes, you've told me. OVRP represents to me a petri dish, an opportunity for a community that is in every sense a community, not just a community of interest, but a community defined by borders. And so actions that are taken in OVRP, you can measure the results because no one else is in there providing service. It is us. And so for organizations that want to understand what works, how did you do it, and so on, you know, we have basically, as you could tell from the panel, we have an experience base that can be made available to all of you to help your organizations move forward, capitalizing on what we have done. In that respect, we also look forward to being partners with you and learning from them. And hopefully this collective impact, which is what we're trying to share with you, will help you have some ideas of how we can be assistance to you and how we can together move this agenda forward to really improve the entire physical, emotional, medical standing in these impoverished communities. So that's our dream, our board's dream and others, to say we've been a well-kept secret, but we are unique, we have much to offer, and we want to be part of a collective effort to have a measurable impact that can be measured. So that is what we do. I'm going to have one more thank you. This is off the agenda. Jack refused to be honored with anything tangible. So Dr. Perry, who has worked with Jack in so many ways, and he wanted to do it. They told me he had an engagement. So Dr. Perry and I both knew Arnold Beckman. Arnold Meckman, a great philanthropist and a great individual. And one of the things he told us one day when somebody asked him, well, how are you doing and so on, and Arnold said, well, I'm doing great and feeling great, but I don't buy any green bananas, if you kind of get the humor of that. So Dr. Perry wanted us to share this with, so Dr. Perry went to Costco, where, by the way, you can always find green bananas because they do it in bulk. So I'm going to come back. I'm not going to ask Jack to come up. I'll walk back and present him with this remembrance. And in conclusion, thank all of you for being here. Please help us, let us know what you can do. What did I miss? Oh, okay. Okay, nobody represented the board because no one told me to, don't forget the board of directors. Well, I thought you would do it. Every board of director, please stand up. You see, as a board, we're very modest because we never think about being recognized. So again, and thanks on anything. Anybody else want me to recognize? Anything else? Okay, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for all you do, and we work forward to a collective effort to make an impact. Thanks very much. Drive safely.